It's not playing the game. It's winning that counts.
Yeah, baby. We're going to go out there and win.
This is Just Win Bets, baby.
Just win, baby.
With Joe DeFan and Shane O'Mac.
How do they keep winning?
Live on the Sports Bet Winning Network.
And here we go. Welcome. It is Just Win Bets, baby, on the Sports Bet Winning Network. Joe DeFan alongside Shane O'Mac. We are live in studio on a Friday night, a busy 90-minute show lined up tonight. We will go around the league and the Winter Olympics, the UFL and NFL. The great UFC handicapper Lou Finocchia joins us in 20 minutes. The wise man who has been hot the last couple of days in college basketball joins us in 45. My friend Tom Viola, the host of Talk to Tom and MLS handicapper, joins us in the next hour, where he and I will have our best bets as the MLS opens this weekend. Our Cash Those Tickets segment for the night and weekend towards the end of the show. But we begin with another sad day in Washington Redskins nation as Trey Johnson passes away at the age of 54. Your opening thoughts, Shana?
Yeah, definitely a sad day. I remember watching Trey Johnson very vividly, right? He was on one of my favorite Redskin teams of all time, that 99 Redskins team. They were a great team. I remember, I think it was Papa John's. It might have been Domino's. Some pizza joint had like a play. They had, every time they scored a touchdown, they get $1 off the pizza. And that year we were lighting the scoreboard
I remember
up.
that. I remember that. Well, Norv Turner was the head coach, as you remember. Brad Johnson was the quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, we had a good team
I remember
that year, man. We had a really good team that year. But he was a part of that. So a lot of memories from Trey Johnson. It sucks. He was a DMV guy, man. He stayed in the area even after he stopped playing football, and he wasn't on the Redskins anymore. And he stayed in this local area. He raised his kids here. He was like a little league coach in the area for them. From all accounts, I never met him personally, but from all accounts, he was a nice guy. Sucks to see him. And I mean, that's too young, man. Too young to die.
Yeah. Teacher as well. So my hat's obviously off to him for that. Very sad. Well, I'll talk a little bit about his play as a guard. When you pulled him, they ran the typical counter tray, or guard tackle, or even in a trap. When he trapped the tackle, the defensive tackle, wham! I mean, this guy will hit you till tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember it was late in the season, and this was just how much he stood up for his team and how much of a team guy he was. Some guy had a late hit on Brad Johnson. This was the 99 season. And he literally picked the dude up and body slammed him afterwards. And I was like, that's what you got to do, man. If you're an offensive lineman, you got to protect your quarterback. And me being an offensive lineman growing up all throughout my playing career, he was one of the guys I looked up to, and I really enjoyed watching. And I like modeled my game after him in a lot of ways. So Trey Johnson, it sucks. Rest in peace. I know the Redskins fans are heartbroken to hear the news that he died. It's been almost a week now, a little under a week, but it's still sad. We haven't really talked about it, but he'll definitely be missed.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I said, it's very sad. He's very young, but these are, in my book, two legends: Sonny Jurgensen, now Trey Johnson. But let's move a little bit on to the news coming out of Washington, which is, I would like to say, good news. Not good news, of course, of the passing, but the good news of Lattimore, your boy, gone.
Woohoo! I think we all saw that coming, especially when, didn't he get like a gun charge or something like that? Like a different state? Yeah. I think as soon as that happened, I think everybody saw that coming, is that they were going to release him. I mean, he wasn't playing great while he was here anyways. Was it worth the shot of giving up the draft picks they gave up for him? I don't know. Some people say yes, some people say no. I think I'd rather have the draft picks. I mean, he didn't play that great, but I mean, that's revisionist history there. I think DQ just saw a former All-Pro corner, and him being a former defensive backs coach, he saw the opportunity that maybe, hey, I can bring this guy in and he can work inside my defense. But obviously that did not work out. So I don't think we're going to miss Marshawn Lattimore at all. So I think that's a good thing for us. Free up some cap room, give us even more cap room than we already have. We need to spend the money now and some free agents. We need some depth. We need to pick up some key players. We need to get younger. We need to get faster, especially on defense. We need to get faster. So hopefully with that extra free money that we're freeing up in our salary cap, we can pick up some guys in free agency now.
Well, I hope so. I mean, that's 18. What is that? 18.5 million?
Something like that, right?
Good. Good riddance. I'd rather give that to Tunzel. I'd rather give that to, I'll tell you who's interested in playing for Washington is Ayuk out of San Francisco.
Yeah. He's a little, I don't know. It depends on what he's asking for, man. Because if you hear the reports coming out of San Francisco, right, where he had the injury, not this past season, the season before that, he had the injury. And they said, like, he wouldn't come into rehab. Like, he wouldn't even show up. And then that's why, like, they didn't even pay him his guaranteed money. And usually, like, the players' union fights for stuff like that when stuff like that happens. When a team says we're not going to pay him the guaranteed money. But even Ayuk was like, hey, like, they're right. I didn't show up. So how much is his heart really in it? I don't know.
Right. Well, I mean, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, especially with the lines now coming out for not only division, but of course the Super Bowl, the conference winners, and we'll talk about that in future shows. But before
that's super early, even before the free agency and before the draft. I mean, you have no idea what these teams are going to look like. And a month from now, it's going to be completely different rosters. I mean, that's so early.
I'm with you. Let's switch over to the Olympics. Did Canada squeak by? It was a little squeaky bum time right there, my friend.
I was rooting for Finland. I was rooting for him, man. I was rooting for Finland. I was watching it and I was like, oh, come on, Finland. Finland was up 2-0.
Right.
They were up 2-0. Canada tied it up. And then about 2.5, maybe 3 minutes left in the game. So the last 3 minutes of the game in the third period, there was a high stick by Finland. I don't think it was that bad. It was a high stick. So it's not like I'm saying like it wasn't something that was called and wasn't true. But I did think the Canadian player did embellish a little bit to try and get that call. I think he like sat there and like he flung his head back a little bit harder than I thought so. But the call, it was a high stick, so I get it. But they got a power play at the end of the game. They score with under a minute left to win 3-2. And oh my God, Finland, man, that sucks. That's a tough one, man, for them to lose. Finland's good though. They got a good squad, man.
Oh, absolutely. But they'll be facing now. Canada's going to be facing the U.S.
Yeah, the United States won big today. They won 6-2 over Slovakia. And Slovakia, they had a really good Olympics too. So that's not an easy win. But I mean they beat them 6-2. They dominated them. So it'll be the U.S. versus Canada again for the gold medal here. It'll be a rematch of last year when they did the Frozen Four, when it was Sweden, Finland, United States, Canada, and Canada and the United States faced each other in the finals for that. So it'll be a rematch. Canada won that. So hopefully the U.S. gets a gold medal here. Canada, if they play like they did against Finland, I think the U.S. could win. And we'll see how it goes. I gotta ask Wiseman how his bets are going for that future bet he did for the parlay. Because the women's hockey team that he had on there, they won the gold. Then he picked the men's team to win the gold, and then he had Canada and curling. Remember, and it was a big plus number.
Wow,
it wasn't like plus 900 or something.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
So I haven't been keeping up with curling. I'm sorry, but
well, wait a minute. So he's already collected on 1/3 of that big parlay because of the women's, as you stated, the women's won the gold. And congratulations to the women's Team USA.
Yeah, and speaking of that game, man, that game was closer than I think anybody saw coming. I think everybody thought it'd be closer than the first time they played. When they first played Canada in the Olympics, the U.S. team won 5-0, and everybody was like, "Yeah, the U.S. team's better, but they're not that much better." But I thought it was going to be like a 4-2 type game. You know what I mean? Like I thought they would still win, but it would be not as close as it was. I mean, they won in overtime. They won in overtime, so it was a very close game for the women's team against Canada.
Do you feel that? Well, I mean, obviously we're rooting for in the games on Sunday, the Team USA taking on Team Canada. But are you eager to return to the NHL?
Oh yeah, can't wait, man! I can't wait. I need my NHL. Hopefully my Caps can get out of the doghouse here and get towards the playoffs. But Other than that, they need to turn it around for sure. Maybe the rest might help them because they are a little bit an elderly team, right? You have
Mhm.
Obi, who's up there in age. You got Carlson, that's up there in age. The only guy that's getting really deep minutes in the Olympics on the Caps is Tom Wilson. Logan Thomas, their goalie, is playing for Team Canada, but it's mostly been Bennington in net. So he hasn't really gotten a lot of play there. So I don't think he's going to be that affected by the layoff because he's still practicing. He's still getting shots, and he's going against Olympic talent, even in the warm-ups and practice and all that stuff. So, but I can't wait for the NHL coming back. And then it's a grind, man, going to the playoffs. I mean, it's 20 something games left, 24 games, I think, left until the playoffs start for most teams. And it's in a short period of time. So there's going to be a lot of back-to-backs for teams. And it's going to be a lot of like every other day games. So you have a game Monday, you'll have another game Wednesday, another game Friday, because they have to get it in so they can get to the finals before summertime.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, you're excited about that. I'm excited about MLS this weekend. It's going to start. We're going to have my friend Tom Viola on later in the show. And Shano, a little UFC fight night. You're expanding the book a little bit there. You did the numbered event, but we're going to have our friend Lou Finocchia on later on, coming up next. But before we talk a little UFC, let's recap briefly on Bubba Wallace had it.
Yeah, the 500, man, last week. The 500 is always crazy. I told you that when we talked about it last week. The 500, man, it is so unpredictable. There's always a huge wreck. And there was that right at the last turn, huge wreck right there, wiped out like 10 cars. Yeah. Right, literally, 500 feet from the finish line. But that happens all the time at Daytona. I remember when I was a kid, there was like the big thing with Dale Earnhardt, my favorite driver growing up, is that he would he led the game. He would lead the races. He led Daytona so many times, and so many different things happened to him. One year, a seagull came and crashed into his car while he was in first place on the last lap of Daytona 500. Some crazy stuff happens at Daytona, always does. But that's what's fun to bet on, man, because like the long shots hit. I mean, the guy who won, he was plus 3,000. So if you put some money on him, that you're looking at pretty good money payout there, right?
Right. But what was interesting, which I didn't understand the rules real quick, what I didn't understand was that you have, of course, regardless if you're in the lead, you got to get some gas or you got to get a pit stop. I get all that. But my point is that you lose the lead.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're leading for 50 laps,
yeah,
and you got to get gas, I get all that.
Yeah.
But then you lose your lead. What if there's a guy changing your tire? It takes like an hour.
Yeah, it's all strategy, man. It's all strategy. It's all pit crew. You have to get the best pit crew out there. I mean, Pete, like I told you this before, watch that documentary on Netflix. It follows like those NASCAR teams throughout the whole season. And some of those guys on pit row, they're like former D1 athletes. I mean, these guys, they can move, they're athletic, but they want that because they want those pit stop times to be as quick as possible. So that stuff doesn't happen. Right. So, but yeah, it's all strategy game.
Yeah, and you're going to have to teach me that stuff, man. I don't know it. But hey, let's go to break here. When we return, we will have the great Lou Finocchia on to talk about his best bets in the UFC fight night. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Just Win Bets, baby, the sports bet winning network. Our next guest has pretty much seen it all in the last 40 years. He has covered a vast number of sports, and we are honored to have him on the show. Here he is, my friend to the end, Lou Finocchia. Lou, how are you, my friend? Good to see you.
It's great to be on with you guys, Joe. I appreciate you having me. Shane, you too. I look forward to getting into some dialogue about mixed martial arts, and I'm pleased to be able to do it with you two gentlemen this afternoon.
Now it's time, my friend, and that's what the channel is really all about, and that's where you and I, or all of us in this room, can relate to, is gambling. What can you advise being in the business of betting on sports, and what are some of the things that you look at a potential fight before placing a bet? Are there certain tales? What matters most in determining who wins, etc.? What's the biggest mistake casual bettors make, when betting MMA?
Okay, so let's start with the last one first. The biggest mistake I see, and I see it's all over Twitter. Everybody's a mixed martial arts handicapper. Mm-hmm. And again, these are my opinions. There are a lot of ways to win money gambling. I'm not here to criticize anybody's way. I really am not. I know what works for me, but I tend to be very conservative. Even in the NFL, I'm sides and total guy. Not a lot of props. And that's how I attack mixed martial arts. Sides and total. Will I go submission or to win by KO? No, I really won't. I might go to win inside the distance, which encompasses submission, KO, and DQ. I may choose to do that. But I see the young people making way too many bets, making way too many prop bets because, it's 14-1. They love that. Let's have some fun. 14-1. Hey, you know what fun is to me? Winning money. I don't care what the number is. It ain't fun if I don't hit it. I see guys, and they have decent followings, betting 12, 14, 15 units in one fight card. I can assure you that those people doing that are either not betting any money on those releases, or they're betting 32 cents per because they don't have the money to lose. I've seen guys lose 15 units on a fight card, and we move on to the next one. I'm much more conservative than that. I might have 3 to 5 releases on a fight card. 5 would be a lot. So there's some of the mistakes that I see, not just in the mixed martial arts, but in the NFL and College World Series and hockey playoffs, all the sports that I work. I only work a few. I try and shoot with a rifle, not a shotgun. Mm-hmm. I'm not an action guy. I'm a bottom line profit guy, and I track all my results in every sport across the board because this is business for me. Now, I've just talked my way through the last part of the question. What were the first parts of those questions, please, Joe?
Sure. Are there certain tales when looking at these particular fights? Obviously, you're not going to possibly cover all of the fights. There could be a 10, fight card, a 12 fight card, a 15 fight card, and you would want to take your best 3 or best 5, and that's what we do. And Shane, to be honest with you, I think Lou and I went to the same high school because I am also conservative. I don't look at the plus 1,400 to plus 1,500, look at the props. I look at inside the distance. I look at maybe put a little pizza money on, hey, he'll be knocked down in the second round. Sure, I'll admit that. But I am very conservative as well. And when I look at my calculations, it is, we're in the business of winning money, not wanting to give it back, obviously, to the books.
Some years ago, a guy named Reed Kuhn came out with a book called Fightnomics. And his goal in the book, he's an analytics guy, and I love to spar with the analytics people. And so I couldn't wait to criticize Mr. Kuhn for trying such a stupid idea. But I thought before I would criticize him, I would do him the favor and read his book so that I could criticize him from within.
Sure.
Once I finished reading the book, I realized that, in fact, there was much there for me to take heed of. And I immediately did absorb everything he said into my DNA, much of which was already there. You can see back here in the corner, my view from the corner, Angelo Dundee. He was Ali's trainer, among other great trainers. And so I knew what height meant. I knew what a reach advantage meant. But I never tracked leg reach before. I didn't track a specialty. Well, this guy's a Muay Thai striker. This guy's more of a boxer. This guy has great grappling, but this guy's an American wrestler. And so all the levels of mixed martial arts that have to go into the handicap now, I feel more prepared to be able to track based on that book. And so when I do my modeling, all you're going to see here is each fighter listed. I have his height, I have his age, I have his reach, leg and arm, I have who his recent fights were, because altogether that goes in to determining for me where advantage may lie in any particular fight. I find that oftentimes the bottom of the card, because it's populated with so many fighters that honestly don't belong in the UFC. I glaze over those fights. I want fighters that have history, recent history against top opponents. And when I can find the proper data, then I think I can find the proper advantage. So my tells are, a short, fat, slow guy that hasn't fought anybody against a long, tall, lightning fast guy that's fought 3 champions in his last 3 fights, even if he's gone 0-3. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, that level of competition definitely matters. And you see it like when you're talking about how the UFC wants lightning in a bottle and they push guys up too quickly, and then they fight that top competition, and then they realize quick how that top level is.
I call that the PhD in MMA. And that's what Mr. Vinicius Oliveira earned last 2 weeks ago by stepping in and then he's flapping the whole time, flapping. And then after the fight, he says, I had a broken arm. Oh no, now he's still flapping. That dude quit. He quit, period.
Yeah, he did. I got my next book lined up, though. I didn't even know about that book, so I have to buy that one on Amazon today. Get that shipped over. Get it shipped overnight.
When a fighter's 6 years older than the other fighter, the younger fighter has 62% chance of winning, and it goes up the more. So I track age in every one of these fight cards. I track who's traveling. For instance, this week there's 4 Texans on the card, and 2 of them fight guys from out of the country. You can't tell me that's not advantage.
Yeah. And the age thing too, I learned this pretty recently. As the weight classes go down in weight, the age gap winning percentage is even greater. It's like ridiculous. Like if you're comparing welterweight age gap compared to like heavyweight wage gap, which it's the whole other thing.
Shane, you're spot on, because a 33-year-old flyweight is old and slow. But a 33-year-old heavyweight packs the same amount of power. You're not old as a heavyweight till you're 40.
Right. Yep, that is true. So speaking of betting, we do have fight night coming up this weekend. Any leans going into it?
Well, I do have some leans. And I mean, we can, if you're going to just let me start, I mean, first of all, the best fight on the card for me, meaning what's going to show us action, violence, and potentially a finish. Yes. And I gotta go right to welterweight Liel and Chidi Njokuani. Now, Njokuani, I'm going to call him Chidi so I don't butcher his name. Sure. Guy with a last name like mine shouldn't be butchering last names. But Chidi is a Texan. Now he's 37 years old, fighting a 31-year-old. So I got to overcome that 62% age difference there. But he's 4 inches the taller man, has a 6-inch reach advantage. He's fighting at home, doesn't have to travel. We know we're going to get his best. And we also know that when the UFC visits a corner of the globe or a corner of the United States, they often set the local regional fighter up for success. Why? Because the lightning in the bottle creates more hysteria and more interest in that particular area. So while Chidi is the bigger, longer, stronger man, he fights this Brazilian that has to travel, Carlos Leal, that comes in, a fighting nerd, maybe the least capable of the fighting nerds, at least in this chronology right now. He walked into a knockout in his last fight against a 44-year-old Muslim Salikov. Now he's getting a guy in Chidi. Chidi is violent for 7 minutes out of 15 minutes. If Leal can find a way to make it past 7 minutes, I think he's in the fight. But we look at the total of that fight, 1.5 rounds is shaded to the under with a minus price. So to me, this looks like a great opportunity for Mr. Njokuani to shine in the Lone Star State.
Nice. I like it.
Let's go with another matchup that you had a lean on. I understand it's a little early. We always like to wait, just like, we talked about, Lou, where we want to see the weigh-ins, etc. What about the Pereira fight, another Brazilian? Pereira taking on Reese, the American.
Yeah, and we picked another fight where the shorter, more compact, and yet maybe more experienced Brazilian, not Leal, but in this case, Pereira. He's lost his last 3. He's coming in to fight a big, long, tall Texan in Zach Reese. And Reese, again, he's going to have the benefits of being at home. He's going to have the benefit of being 3 inches taller. He's got a 4-inch reach advantage. A lot of the similar traits that Chidi has over Leal. The difference here is that he's nowhere near the athlete that is Pereira. Pereira's a flamboyant, spinning heel kick, wild, crazy kind of a fighter. Excuse me. And after losing 3 straight, I really think the guy's going to come with finite focus, and I've never been sold on Reese. I know he's won a few fights, but this is a step up in competition for him, and this is a fight that I'm somewhat interested in Pereira in. This one open Pereira minus 150. It's stuck at 148, and so weigh-ins are very, very critical to me. I really don't release my final positions on fight cards until after weigh-ins. I'm not after trying to get hits. I'm not after trying to rival the any of the podcasts that are out there for hits. I'm a gambling podcast, and so it's all about the winning, and that's why I wait so long. So yep. I'll wait for this one, but I do think Pereira's in a really advantageous spot, even though he's the shorter guy. He's not as long. He has to travel, but he does have level of competition faced as an advantage as well. He's the much more athletic man in the cage.
Nice. Yeah, I agree with you. Wait until weigh-ins too. That's exactly what we do. Wait till weigh-ins because if someone has coming in overweight, like we talked about earlier, that's a huge advantage, and unfortunately, they're not penalized for it.
Yeah, it is a huge advantage, and it's not to say that if I see an opportunity, I won't take it. In this Bautista fight we talked about earlier, I actually made a parlay of a fighter a week earlier. If you remember the card in Sydney, we had Elikana minus 278, parlayed him with Bautista at minus 200. So when Bautista took that fight and the bell for round 1 rang, we owned Bautista for 2 units at plus 106. That's a great way to make more than you invest, which is another foundational aspect of my gambling. I don't bet favorites very often. And when I do, people should take note, because usually I want to bet $1 and win more than $1 on the take back.
Yeah. Okay. So any other fights on this card? Either like the Jeff Neal fight? Do you have any lean on that one?
Yeah. So here's what I would want. I want to go back to Njokuani and Leal just for a minute, because I didn't mention the dynamic move in price. Chidi opens plus 220. So Leal comes minus 260 in this fight. If you look at it now, Leal is minus 125. There's been a mountain of money coming in on the Texan on this fight. I'm late to the party with him, but better late than never. And I do think there's a reason that number's melted away like that, and it's because of the reasons we discussed. So to go now to the Jeff Neal fight, here's what I'll say about that fight. I've been doing this a long time, guys, and this isn't the first time a combat fighter or boxer has dabbled with fast cars, champagne, silk sheets, and drinking. And Neal has just announced that he's now sober after abusing alcohol for some time. I can tell you right now, the day John Jones is in essence not fighting anymore, but if he was active and I found out that he quit drinking and doing everything else that he's been known to do, I'd never bet him again. Because part of what makes John Jones is that bad boy slipping around at 2 a.m, doing what he wants to do. And as far as the Neal thing is concerned, I think the knee-jerk reaction is, oh boy, Jeff Neal's sober. He's got to be a lot better. And while I think that could be true, it's not always true. And I've seen it in fighting where it might take a guy a fight or two to adjust and react to a new lifestyle. So while Neal has opened at minus 180 and he's crept up to minus 195 or so, I consider Uros Medic a very decent challenge for him, and that's one dog I'm looking at.
Nice. I like it.
Very nice.
I like it. Because I remember Jeff Neal, I think it was just not last fight. He lost the Prates, I think. And then the fight before that, he won by like a strong head kick. That was an awesome kick. Landed the dude right in the temple and dropped him. But what about main event? We got Sean Strickland versus Anthony Hernandez. Any leans there?
Observations. And my observation is that at 250, Hernandez opened minus 250. That's simply too high. That's disrespectful to Strickland. And now the line is 280, which is more disrespectful to Strickland. Now, listen, Fluffy's great, but everything he does is what Strickland does. The difference is Strickland is a much better striker on the feet, and he has unbelievably underrated wrestling. Fluffy will be giving away advantage on the feet, but Fluffy gives away advantage on the feet almost to everyone he fights because he has no intention of staying there. He just uses his feet to muscle in, get inside, press against the cage, take you down, and choke you out. And that's what he's going to try and do to Strickland. I just think that Strickland being an inch taller, being in with much better level of competition, isn't going to acquiesce to Fluffy. And I think Fluffy's going to have a much more difficult time than Strickland, than everybody is thinking that Fluffy's just going to go out there, ground him, and take him out. Yes, Fluffy has taken down all his opponents with relative ease, but he hasn't faced the kind of opponent that Strickland has faced. And yes, DDP and these other guys were able to take Strickland down. He knows what's coming. Anyone that you talk to that understands this game will also tell you how underrated his wrestling is. And wrestling means takedown defense. So if this fight stays on the feet, I could see Strickland winning quite easy. This number is off. It's disrespectful to Strickland. I know Strickland knows it. Now, here's a couple other things that you have to fold into your handicapping. Number one, Strickland is a liability to the UFC. He went to France and he hit somebody in the face, or, the UFC is not a big fan of Strickland. And so maybe they gave him this match for a reason. Maybe there's a reason that Strickland has to face Fluffy here. And would it harm them if he loses and Fluffy, the guy they really kind of want, gets propelled into further fights? Don't think for a minute that doesn't come in to their thinking. The other thing is IQ. Fluffy comes in, he has a plan, and he plans his work and works his plan. He doesn't come off of it. He's a very level, mature fighter. Strickland is a wild man. And you saw against Pereira. Who goes into a fight with Pereira and says, I'm going to stand with him? Only a numbskull. And Strickland did it. So in the heat of battle, and Eric Nixick, his coach, will tell you, we got to try and keep him on plan. Easier said than done. So you got some wild card issues with Strickland that do create some risk if you're considering that side.
A pleasure and an honor to be joined by you, my friend. Glad you're doing well. Hope to see you soon. Thank you very much for your time. And good luck to you going forward.
Thanks so much for having me, guys. I love to support bright, new, young talent. And while you guys may not consider yourself young, I consider you young. I will do anything I can do to support you moving forward. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks for joining us, man. Thank you so much. It meant a lot to talk to you.
Thank you.
And we're back. This is Just Win Bets, baby, on the Sports Bet Winning Network. We're here with the wise man joining us in studio. First off, I'm done with this hat. I can't do. I'll probably do it, talking to Lou, having it, but I can't deal with this hat anymore, Shano. You know who's going to yell at me? Senior Executive Mike is going to yell at me. You got to wear the hat. No, I'm not wearing this hat. I need a haircut is what I need.
What if you did like Sly Stallone and Over the Top, like took it and like turned it backwards to get ready for the pit? You remember that? That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a great movie. Where he went over like with his hand.
Oh. Yeah.
Anyway, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. I have a couple long shot parlays that are still in play on the Olympics. So I told you
what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, so I have the U.S. women to win the gold. Check. U.S. men to win the gold. They're in the finals against Canada. And Canada men's curling winning the gold. They're in the finals against Great Britain. So tomorrow's a big day.
Nice.
Okay, so what? Well, tomorrow and Sunday.
Tomorrow and Sunday, yeah.
So what's the payout? What plus 1,800?
It was plus 1,700. Yes.
Woo.
Yeah.
Woo.
So that'd be a nice little payday. Get me rolling into March Madness, and then of course I still have live the Red Wings to make the playoffs and the Pistons to win the division. Did you see the Pistons beat up on the Knicks last night? Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
At the Garden.
I do have a gripe with the Olympics right now, though. Gold medal game. You have two teams, Canada, U.S., same time zones for us, right? Why the hell did they put the game at 8:00 in the morning?
No. They're not in the same time zone as us. They're 6 hours ahead.
Canada. I'm talking about
Canada.
two teams in the gold medal round, right? The gold medal game's at 8:00 in the morning on Sunday. Why couldn't they put it at like the 3:00 schedule, like what we played today? Like that would make more sense. I would think to get more viewers. I don't know what's wrong. What's wrong with the Olympics over there?
Yeah. Well, you remember in Miracle on Ice in 1980, that game was the game against the Russians was played at 5:00 Eastern time. They didn't even show it on live TV. It was tape delayed.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I'm like, hey, I don't downshift that fast, babe.
Yeah. DB Sweeney. Speaking of downshifting, I was caught your conversation with on NASCAR. Joe the fan doesn't realize that the cars run on gas. Is that true? Like,
yeah, he didn't know that.
He's debating pit stops and what happens.
Yeah, he thought they were solar power or wind powered. I don't know how he thought.
Yeah,
there's like a bunch of hamsters in the front, like turning some wheels or something.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying, hey, this sucker's nuclear. I'm not saying that. Okay, it runs on Mr. Fusion. No, what I'm saying is, if you're in the lead for X amount of laps, and then obviously you have to go for a pit stop to change your tire, change your oil, change your whatever. I don't really care. My point is, so you're in first, and then when you get back on the road, now you're like 25th. So I'm like, bro,
but the other teams have to also get gas. Like all the cars require gasoline. So this is kind of like how it goes. Well, let me do me a favor. Homework assignment for next week. Just go watch Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise.
Oh, great!
Never
movie.
saw it.
Oh, okay.
Never saw
Cole,
that movie.
I know Cole. He always goes,
I never saw that movie.
Oh, you never saw it?
No,
It's a great movie. You gotta watch
never
that.
saw it. I rode it on like the simulator or whatever at King's Dominion, but
Oh, I remember that.
yeah,
I remember that. Then they had that there.
yeah. But
Oh.
other than that, I was like, okay, whatever.
Watch
I'll
it.
watch it. Okay, I'll watch it. Hey, wait a minute. Wasn't Robert Duvall in that movie?
Robert Duvall. God bless his
Robert
heart.
Duvall.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. He was the crew chief.
Yep.
He was Tom Cruise's crew chief.
Great cast. Robert Duvall, Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman, and then
John C. Reilly was in it.
John C. Reilly was in it. Yes, he was.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
And
That was
then,
like really early in his career. But
yeah.
he was in it.
And Cousin Eddie from the Vegas or Christmas Vacation and the Vacation. He was in it.
Yeah,
he was in the owners.
You had me until you said those two words, Christmas Vacation, and I'm like, I'm out. No, I'll watch it. Just for you.
NASCAR's at Atlanta this week, and Atlanta is a little bit more predictable than Daytona. Not as fun to watch, though. I would say Atlanta's like your cookie cutter 1.5 mile type track, and you can get some good racing there, but not as fun as Daytona.
Wait a minute, are you teasing a little bit? Maybe a pick there?
I have to look and see. I got to look at qualifying times. I haven't looked at anything like that yet, so maybe I'll put something out.
Maybe. Let's get started. Of course, 5-1 back-to-back weeks here, gentlemen. And we didn't hit on our hot dog, but 10-2 the last 2 weeks. Got to get my glasses. So make sure that we're back on track here. I will go for it first, and we will go, of course, to the ACC. Notre Dame in Pittsburgh. You know, I pick on this team a lot. Games at 2:00, ACC Network. It is Notre Dame traveling to Pittsburgh. As you know, I'm not a big fan of the coach. I don't even know that he still has a job, but okay. Irish coming in with significant momentum after the 89-74 win over Georgia Tech. Earlier. Cole, this is the Serta surge, okay? Cole Serta is hot. He's the hottest hand in the ACC right now, coming off a 37-point explosion where he hit 7 threes. This guy is on fire. The offense has finally been clicking over in the last 5 games. They're averaging about 77 points per game. 47% shooting, a massive jump from their earlier conference struggles. As we look to the Pittsburgh, the slide here that they're doing here, the Panthers have lost 5 straight. Though they've had some tough opponents, a gauntlet of top-tier ACC opponents, being, of course, the Tar Heels, Duke, UVA, being just a few here. They've got some injuries, though, in the front court. So they're very thin on the front court as Jackson and Kate are out for the season. Here's the thing. Pitt allows opponents to shoot about 35% from 3. I mentioned earlier what Notre Dame has been doing, but, I just think that this is going to be a nightmare matchup against the Irish team that features Serta and Shrewsbury is another young guy that's coming from Notre Dame. So I see, of course, you could go Notre Dame money line plus 1.5. If you got it in, great. But let me go with Notre Dame. I'm going to double check it right now. I got it in when it first came out. It was at plus 1.5. Excuse me. So let me double check here what we have. Notre Dame. I'm going to take Notre Dame plus 2.5. It moved actually. So plus 2.5 at FanDuel at minus 118. I wouldn't push anybody away for going money line because, again, I do not like this team at all. And it had nothing to do with a girl. I know you're thinking that, but no. I don't like the coach. Capel is terrible. I hope he gets fired. He's been way overrated as a coach. He hasn't gone anywhere since the program started, in my opinion. So give me Notre Dame plus 2.5 at minus 118. That's going to be my first
the Fighting
pick.
Irish.
The Irish shows up.
That's
my first pick. Let's go, of course, with you, Shano, with your pick.
Okay, my pick here, my first pick. I am going to go to a game that is a huge rivalry in the state of Tennessee. I went against my Commodores last week, and I'm going back. I feel bad. I'm sorry. They made me look bad because I went against them last week. Right? They made that was my first loss since our first week of doing these. So I feel bad. I'm taking the Commodores minus 2.5. They're playing Tennessee. Tennessee is not good on the road. I've talked about that before. I picked against them earlier on in one of my picks. Still not good on the road. I think they're like 2-4-1 or something like that in their last 7 road games against the spread. All but one of their losses have came on the road. They're just not a good road team. They're playing Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt has their second leading scorer coming back in Davis. He came back earlier this week. He's not fully 100%, but he's pretty close. All right. And having him has been a rejuvenation for them. The one thing I will say that kind of scares me about this is that Tennessee is the number one in college basketball for offensive rebounds. And that has given Vanderbilt some trouble over the years. But when I was digging deep into the math, Tennessee is also like 80th in the country in field goal percentage. So how much of that offensive rebounds is them actually getting rebounds, and how many of it is them just missing shots and have more opportunities for rebounds? You get what I'm saying? So Vanderbilt, I think their offense is very, 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 very good. I don't think Tennessee is going to be able to keep up with them and score with them. I got them at minus 2.5 earlier today. When I was looking at this, I'm trying to. Can you see what the spread is right now?
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It's the Commodores, as you would say, Shano. Say you, say me. Minus 2.5 at DraftKings at minus 108. Yep.
Yeah, minus 2.5. So I'm taking the Commodores. Give it to me all day long. Hopefully we'll be dancing on the ceiling again. This is my redemption for them. I'm saying sorry for going against them last week. Give me the Commodores minus 2.5.
Minus 2.5 at DraftKings at minus, what did I say there? Minus 108. All right. So that is his first pick, the Commodores. Again, say you, say me.
That's the way it should be.
That's the way it should be. Which, by the way, I did not. The movie was White Knights. I don't think I saw it as a kid. I want to watch it because it was from the great Gregory Hines, who passed away. I think he had cancer. But I did not know that Helen Mirren was in that movie. A very young Helen Mirren.
Were we talking about White Knights? That's where the ballet dancer, right?
Yeah, the ballet dancer, the Russian guy,
the Brezhnikov or whatever.
Yeah. I wonder if he's still alive.
I think he is. He was in Sex and the City. He was love interest of Carrie Bradshaw.
I'm just saying, how would you know that?
I have range, my friend. I have range. I can get down in the weeds with you on Days of Thunder, and I can talk ballet movies. It's called range.
I'll take your word for that one. I'll take your word for that one.
I don't think I've seen a ballet movie. Oh, Black Swan. I saw that with Natalie Portman and
she's cute.
and Mila Kunis, and they had that really good scene in that movie.
I didn't see that. I didn't see the movie, but if you say Natalie Portman, do I need to invest? Because she's cute. I like her. I like her.
Her and Mila Kunis have like a very, very good scene in that movie. I'll just leave it like that. Very good scene.
Oh, speaking of Mila Kunis, I was watching Forgetting Sarah Marshall the other day. That's a great movie.
Yeah, I did see that one.
Yeah.
See,
I Am American.
Dracula musical. I want to. I would go pay the money to do that.
I Am American. I did watch that movie. I have seen that movie. Wise Man, your first pick, please.
Sounds good. We had a 2-0 week last week, putting us at 10-4. Let's continue to ride the lightning. I'm going out west for my first pick here. We have number 10, Illinois, the Fighting Illini, traveling out to UCLA. This is an 8 p.m. start time Saturday night. Illinois, earlier today, when I put it in, they were favored by 5.5. I think it's gone up since then. I think it's 6.5 now. So
yeah, you can still get 5.5 at Bet365. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh, you can. Okay, so let's take 5.5. Illinois, listen, they're one of the hottest teams in the country right now. They come in 22-5, 3-2 in their last 5. Their only losses in that 5-game stretch was against a 2-point loss versus Wisconsin and a 3-point loss to Sparty. That's a game that they should have won. They went into overtime and couldn't quite pull it through in overtime, but they could very easily be 5-0 in their last 5. On Wednesday, they destroyed a USC Trojans team. They were favored by 8.5 and they won by 36. I actually watched every minute of that game, and boy, does Illinois look good. They could be a darling for the Final Four. Let's flip over to UCLA. On the other hand, they're 17-9, fighting for their tournament life. They are on the bubble. 2-3 in their last 5, trending in the wrong direction. 1-4 against the spread in their last 5. Their only cover was against the mighty power blue blood that is Rutgers University. They couldn't cover at home against Washington, which was pretty embarrassing. They're coming off the trip to the great state of Michigan, where they play back-to-back against the Wolverines and against Sparty. They lost both of those games by a combined 53 points. The 2 losses in the state of Michigan were by a combined, let me repeat that, 53 points. So they are trending in the wrong direction. These 2 teams have 2 common opponents in their last 5 games. Sparty was one of them. Illinois should have beat Sparty. UCLA lost to Sparty by 23 earlier this week. Another common opponent was Indiana. Illinois beat Indiana by 20. UCLA lost to Indiana by 1. So Illinois is ticking all the blocks. They're getting healthier. They got Stojanovic and Kylan Boswell back from injury. They got 5 guys averaging in double digits, to include their leading scorer, Keaton Wagler. So things are good right now in Nebraska. Not so much with UCLA. I don't know if you saw Mick Cronin kicked one of his players off the court.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Party. Which it was a hard foul, but Cronin kicked his player, told him to go into the locker room. Like what are we in 3rd grade right now? And Cronin had to come back and later apologize to the player because it wasn't that hard of a foul. So I think Cronin's lost the locker room now. Give me Illinois -5.5. This is also actually a better travel spot for Fighting Illini. They've been in LA because they were playing USC earlier in the week. So they've been enjoying the sunshine in LA. Meanwhile, UCLA was out in Michigan and just got back from the state of Michigan. So better travel spot for Illinois, believe it or not. So give me them -5.5.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Maybe Izzo can learn from Cronin a little bit. I mean, you've lost what? Well, obviously you won during the midweek. I give you credit for that.
Yeah.
But prior to that, I mean, I'm just saying, you lost to your rival.
Kicking somebody out. I was like, didn't he kick out one of his former players in the stands?
Why does he kick himself out and maybe have an assistant run it?
Yeah, he kicked a former player out who was in the stands because he was yelling at the ref. Listen, Sparty's going to be just fine. January, February, Izzo, in that order.
Okay. All I know is when I bet on him, and when he plays on Friday night, you bet against him no matter what. I don't care who you're playing.
He beat Illinois in overtime on Friday night 2 weeks ago. What do you?
Okay. No. Yeah. They lost to who did they lose to last Friday?
Wisconsin. They lost to Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
But the Friday before that, they beat Illinois.
Okay, and the Friday before that, they played Ohio State, which they got cooked on that.
Okay, listen. You want
right there.
Let's go. Let's get on to Shayna. I want to see if one of your picks is. I was very close to picking one of your arch rivals this week, but let's proceed with the show. We'll see if we get to that game.
You want me to go for let's go with my first hot dog.
Are you talking the blue versus blue matchup today or this weekend? Yeah, that's a big game. That's a big game. That's a big 2 blue teams.
Yeah. One's dark blue, one's they're not Carolina blue. I'll tell you that. Anyway, we'll go with
that game. It's at Capital One Arena. I think it's in DC.
Oh, is it?
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a neutral game in DC.
Yeah.
Ooh. Let's go, of course, to the hot dog pick. I'll start up here. In football, I love them. In basketball, it's the opposite. Of course, we're talking about the Mormons of BYU. Love them during football. They're the best. But in basketball, you don't costs the business. They're hosting against Iowa State. So I'm going to take Iowa State here, and I'll tell you exactly why. The 6 seed Iowa State, the Cyclones, coming in here with a 10-3 Big 12 record. Iowa State is arguably the hottest team in the country. No comparison to, that team up north, Midwest, I should say, that wears green and whatever. Anyway, coming off a back-to-back marquee win over ranked number 9 Kansas and number 2 Houston. So look at that. They're hot. Their strength, of course, is their defense. They recently held Houston to just 67 points and lead the Big 12 in steals. Key player there is Joshua Jefferson, who's been the steady hand lately, but the Cyclones win with depth and forced turnovers. The problem with BYU is we move to BYU. They do have a strength here. Home court, star power, that they have with AJ is coming off a massive 35-point performance against Arizona. BYU is 10-2 at the Marriott Center this season. However, they're playing Mickey Mouse clubs, okay, especially at home. So they are injured. There are some injuries with the Mormons. They're depleted in their rotation with Saunders and Baker are out for the season. So listen, with the star player of BYU in AJ, the Bansta, versus the Cyclone Trap, I don't see it happening. I mean, they're ranked pretty high up there, 9th in the nation in efficiency when it comes to the BYU offense. But it revolves around AJ's ability to score. I think Iowa State, locks this player down, okay? And let's really be honest, that's what Izzo used to do years ago, but I don't know what happened to him. Anyway, I don't think they have a secondary scorer on from the Mormons. Give me BYU, and they definitely cover give me Iowa State. They definitely cover Iowa State -3.5 as my first hot dog pick.
I like that. Richie Saunders, that's going to be a huge loss for BYU.
That is a huge loss.
That pretty much ends their season, I think.
Yeah. There you go. That's what I'm doing, my friend. It's called a trap. Maybe Izzo, in his 30, 40 years being there, could he maybe implement that once in a blue moon? I've seen it before.
He doesn't. It's man to man. We don't need gimmicky traps. We need. He's arguably one of the coaches, the best defensive team in all the nation on a regular basis. He has this drill called WAR. He puts the players in football pads and they run rebounding drills in football pads. We don't need traps. We man up, man on man. I mean, you got nothing on me. You got nothing on Izzo.
WAR. What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing.
I thought you were going to say, hey, yeah, he has this game called War where they're playing, getting deck of cards and they're playing cards. And no wonder you're losing to Ohio State and Michigan. And anyway, Shano, you're up.
All right, hot dog pick. All right, as you guys know, I always go big. I go one of my picks is always Big East because I watch a lot of Big East basketball.
Can I guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Xavier.
No, I was leaning that, but I wasn't 100% sure on that one.
Okay.
I was looking at that though. I also just a lean. I'm not going to put a huge money amount on it, but I kind of like the Hoyas plus the points tomorrow too. But I'm looking at Providence, the Friars versus DePaul, the Blue Demons. Okay. Providence is 11-15. DePaul is 14-12. Neither one of these teams are super great. But Providence, man, they can score, and they can score a lot. They're 14th in the nation in points per game. Offensive efficiency is in the top of the league as well, on top of college basketball. And they just played 2 weeks ago. They played each other 2 weeks ago. Providence beat them 90-72. Wasn't close at all. So they beat them by 18 points. It was actually they were up by 25 at one point. I think was the biggest spread, but then they ended up winning by 18. They shot 60% from the field. Very good. And then Edwards, their key player, he had 25 points for them. And he's been out the last week or so, but he's returning tomorrow to play against the Blue Demons again. This spread, they have them at +1.5. DePaul, they're more of a defensive minded team. Offensively, they are not good. I don't think they have the offensive firepower to match up with Providence. I think it's just a bad matchup for them. I'm not going with the +1.5. I'm taking them straight money line. Give me Providence straight money line. I got it at +115 earlier. I don't know what the current best odds are or where we're doing our hot dog pick at, though, but give me Providence money line.
Providence money line. Okay, let's see what we got here.
It's tomorrow at 8 p.m.
I think we're doing Caesar this week. Caesar. Yes, we're doing Caesars this week. But I'll put that in. So Providence money line.
Providence money line.
Okay.
Let me see what's at Caesars. I can look it up real quick. Providence money line. Where are you, Providence? Where are you,
the thing with Caesars? It always locks up on me. What's going on here? Don't give me this because it's an Apple phone. I don't want to hear that.
Oh, Caesars isn't even listed on scores and odds, so I don't know. But it's +115 at 365, +112 at FanDuel. Bet Rivers has it at +104. So
all right, you want to do? We can do FanDuel.
We can do it wherever. I don't care.
We'll do FanDuel.
It's +112 at FanDuel currently.
Okay, I'm gonna do it right now. Wise man, your hot dog pick, please.
My hot dog pick, I am staying in LA, and I am going with the Oregon at USC game Saturday, 4 p.m., showing USC as a 5.5 point favorite.
Okay.
Oregon's 9-17. Their season is pretty much over. They don't have much more to play for. 1-4 in their last 5. Their only win against the lonely Penn State Nittany Lions. They lost at home to Minnesota, at home to Iowa. Now they're going on the road to play an 18-8 desperate USC team. I told you USC got embarrassed pretty bad earlier in the week. So that they were without one of their best players, Chad Baker-Mazara. He's listed as day-to-day. I think he plays. USC is on the bubble, and they need to win this game. If they lose this game, I think they're out of the tourney. So I think they play with passion. I think Eric Musselman has the troops firing on this one. These two teams played already once earlier in the season. USC won by 5. And so you're saying that number hasn't changed at all. And now a month later, we have USC playing for everything and Oregon season over. I like the Trojans -5.5 for my hot dog.
Trojan -5.5. Shano with his money line for Providence and my Iowa State at -3.5. We have the hot dog here at +690.
690. I like it.
It's one of our higher ones.
690.
Yeah.
So I like it. I like it.
Let's go.
Before we go, I do have a lean, and this is where again, very upset with my team, but I went back to. I never wore this, but I'm gonna wear it right now. It's got the silver in the back. It's got everything on there. Okay, the sticker's still on there. So we're winning against Syracuse. Holy cow! I'm not gonna adjust it.
Your head's grown since you last wore that.
Exactly. Okay. The Tar Heels are winning. The Tar Heels are winning against Syracuse. They're -2.5. I think Vossner comes back. Okay. Obviously, Caleb Wilson is not going to play. UNC -2.5. I'm going to parlay that with your Georgetown pick, Shano.
Yeah, my Georgetown pick's a lean there. I think they're +6.5 last I saw, and I like that a lot. Georgetown's been playing a little bit better lately, but I don't know if it's well enough for me to put a ton of money on it. That's why I said a lean.
Okay.
Can we give our leans?
For the teams that you guys love, Michigan versus Duke.
You have Scum and Duke.
Yeah, of course. So here's what I have. I have Georgetown. It's moved. It's at +4.5 now.
Oh man, there's some money pumping in on Georgetown. I told you I like Georgetown plus the points. So yeah, it was +6.5 earlier when I was looking at it.
Let's -1.5 for North Carolina, and your Scum.
So what I think the latest line shows Michigan favored by 2.5.
That's correct.
That's a neutral site game in DC. the Blue Devils travel well. That's not a tough travel up to see the number 1 and number 2 team in the country. I think Capital One becomes Cameron Indoor overnight. Listen, U of M, it's just a garbage program with garbage players. The Duke Blue Devils, I think Boozer has a game. I think he's taking offense to them not being favored. And give me the Duke Blue Devils. Dipsy-doo, Dunkaroo, Duke covers.
Okay, so you're taking Duke. Okay, hold on.
He's taking Duke.
Okay, hold on.
Are we going to have another bet? You're going to take Michigan and then...
No. I thought he said Michigan, but...
no, he said Duke.
Yeah, I know. I just heard him now. I just have to find it now. Because I had it, and then... I think it's personal with you. You don't want to take scum ever.
It is personal. It is personal. But it's also Michigan is. I think your Michigan's at a high point here in the betting market. They're the darlings. They had a great win over Purdue. I'm not going to lie, at Purdue, a Purdue team that right now at the half is destroying Indiana by 17. But no, it is personal. Listen, I hate Duke too, but.
Oh, here it is.
Nobody likes Duke.
No, I don't like Duke. All right. So before we get off here, what about your Sparty? Sparty doesn't play?
No,
Sparty plays on Sunday?
Sparty's off.
They do not play until I think Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay.
No, sorry. They play Ohio State Sunday. At home. Listen,
the line's not up.
Again, I'm not sure what the line is. You know,
it's not up yet.
They're not bad, but we'll see.
It's not up yet. It's not up yet. Plus 581 on this lean. I'll put a little pizza on it. All right. Those are, of course, our bets for this weekend. Hopefully we can go 6-0, gentlemen.
Let's do it. 5-1 the last 2 weeks, 10-2. Let's get a 6-0 here.
6-0. So, any last words there, wise man?
No last words. Just always good hanging out with you guys on Friday night.
Hey, listen, before you go though, no Pebble Beach, nothing this week.
Oh well, the boys are at Riviera right now for the Genesis Open. Last week they were at Pebble Beach. I took Sepp Straka on Thursday, and he eagled the last hole to finish one behind Morikawa. So I almost went cashed 2 tickets in a row with Morikawa, Hideki Matsuyama, and then Straka. So I have no leans at the Genesis. This is Tiger's tournament. It's a big deal. Rory's playing well. Scheffler's playing well. This is a signature event, so all the big guns are playing. But golf season's starting to get fun. So stay tuned for the Masters show.
There you go.
Do you think Tiger's going to play in the Masters?
You know what? Because this is his tournament that's going on right now, and he was interviewed, and he was directly asked the question, "Are you out for the Masters?" And he said, "I wouldn't necessarily say that," or something along. But he didn't shut it down, which is intriguing. So I would think that he's not playing, but hey, I don't know.
There you go. So the wise man will be, of course, back not only next week, but he'll have some of he's doing his research now for the Masters. So we'll have that ready for you guys in about a month and a half as the Masters roll on. Thank you, my friend. We will see you, of course, next time. Coming up is my friend Tom Viola with Shano. MLS starts this weekend. So I'm eager to listen to what he has to say. We'll take a quick break. We'll return with Tom Viola in studio after this. See you soon. Welcome back. We have a personal friend of mine, Shano, but when it comes to Major League Soccer, there's simply no one better. Known for his work with TV at Work, his podcasts, Unbaited, and various betting podcasts. He bridges the gap between high-level analytics and the practical grind of a handicapper. My friend to the end, Tom Viola. My friend, welcome. How are you?
I am doing great. Thank you so much. Thank you for the kind words, and thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited. This is a fun week. The NFL is over. We get that sport nobody wants to talk about and watch out of the way, and now we can focus on the greatest league on the planet. Major League Soccer is back this weekend, and I am excited.
Let's talk about your project that you're working on. I'm very fascinated. I've taken the liberty to listen to all of your guests, and we'll break that down a little bit more in just a minute. But what was the aha moment that led you to create TV at Work, and how has your content evolved as sports betting has become legalized across the United States?
Well, honestly, I mean, it has been a long journey. It's coming up on 9 years here in sports betting for me. But specifically, my new podcast, my new endeavor, the Talk to Tom podcast, it's essentially a continuation of work that I was doing previously for a company called Unabated, which if you haven't checked them out, absolutely fascinating. If you're looking to get sharper, if you're looking to be a sharp bettor, they have a whole bunch of great tools for you to help you succeed, from an odd screen to prop simulators, projections. It's a one-stop toolbox. It's not going to give you the answers. It's not a pick service, but it's going to tell you, hey, this is how you can find plus EV bets and be a plus EV bettor. And if you're going to be a plus EV bettor, you really do need things like an odd screen. But while I was working for them, I was mostly in charge of our content, which included the Unabated podcast. It's still up. You can still search for it and find it if you want. And it's actually going to be coming back pretty soon. I did that with Captain Jack, Andrews. If you don't know who he is, definitely highly encourage you to look him up. He has been a fantastic mentor and friend to me, and he has been a fantastic mentor to so many more people. I would personally argue he has created more sharp bettors than anyone else in the entire gambling universe. He's just a phenomenal Sherpa to help guide you through the journey to becoming a sharper bettor. And we did the Unabated podcast together, and I kind of wanted to, as I left Unabated, and I'm still involved with them in some capacity, but I wanted to strike out and kind of continue something up a little bit on my own in the same vein. And that's kind of where Talk to Tom came from. I wanted to not necessarily be doing a podcast where I'm sitting down and saying, hey, let's take a look at the slate of games for Thursday night. I wanted to do something where it's, hey, let's be a little more inside baseball with it. Let's get a little more down into trying to tell interesting stories, because there's so many in this space, as well as trying to get the opinions and trying to get thoughts about the industry itself out there. So we're not going to be the podcast for everybody. It's very niche. It's very much for people who want to get a little more down and dirty with the ins and outs of the sports betting world instead of making actual bets. We're a sports betting podcast where we're not really talking about actual sports bets. But so far, I've had a couple great guests on. We're on to episode 5 now. I'm very excited. I just booked my guest for next week, who is going to be Andy Molitor, one of my absolute favorite followers on here, and another great podcast host over at The Deep Dive. But I've had on people so far like Captain Jack to really hand the show off and talk about the prediction market universe and everything that's going on with gambling tax laws, to Congresswoman Dina Titus, who has been in the news a lot lately because she is the one kind of trying to pioneer fixing the gambling tax laws that were messed up with last year's omnibus bill. So that was a really great episode for anyone who's really concerned with where we are right now and what's going on with trying to get the tax laws fixed. And then my last guest was Isaac Rose Berman. Awesome dude. And we had a really great conversation about responsible gambling and kind of the ins and outs and the paradoxes of casinos being the ones to police problem gamblers when they're really their best customers. But yeah, if you're looking for interesting stories, interesting things going on in the sports gambling universe, I highly encourage you to come check it out. And I hope that you like what you hear.
Check it out. And you can check him out on X at TV at Work on X. Let's get down to enough of the fantasy. Let's talk reality, as I like to say, my friend. Let's talk a couple leans as week 1 begins this weekend from MLS. I'm excited. Hopefully you are, my friend. Let's dive a little bit into a couple games.
Let's do it. I am very excited. It's that time. It catches up on you quick. Like the joke is, the World Series ends and they go pitchers and catchers report on Tuesday. Right. MLS's off season is shorter than MLB's.
Yeah.
Like
they finished in November, right? So
they finished in December.
Or December, excuse me. December.
The final game of the MLS season takes place on conference championship weekend in college football.
Oh my gosh.
It's the dumbest scheduling thing ever. I'm like, you're going up against Ohio State versus whoever in the Big Ten championship. And you're putting your championship game at noon on conference Saturday. It's the dumbest thing that happens every year. But yeah, we've got some great games to get to. And we got some road dogs. I can tell you right now, I have FanDuel at 2-1 on Minnesota United versus Austin in the first game.
Okay.
I'm eyeing that one. I'm taking that swing for sure. Minnesota was a great team last year. I like the offseason moves that they've made, or rather haven't made. They're bringing back a lot of the same roster, a lot of the same team. And this Austin team isn't that great. They were a fringe team last year that was fighting for a playoff spot, whereas this Minnesota team was one of the top teams going into it at the end. I think that all teams being equal and fresh right now, I'd gladly take a 2-1 shot on the better team here.
I'm going to go a little conservative, my friend, on my first one with FC Cincinnati hosting, of course, Atlanta United. Listen, the key strength here for FC Cincinnati, of course, is Evander. Kevin Dickey, those are your key strengths, the attacking duo right there. Atlanta's coming in with some new faces. The club signed veteran Fafa and Sergio Santos. Just days before the opener. So you're going to see a little bit of change in Atlanta, but I don't see it as a huge. They've improved. Don't get me wrong. Atlanta has improved their depth, okay, compared to last season. But you're playing at TQL Stadium on opening day. That's a brutal assignment right there. I think Cincinnati's chemistry in the final third, I think we will, and with the link play of Evander and Denke that I mentioned earlier, it's going to be way overwhelming for Atlanta's defense as they still try to learn to play together. Give me FC Cincinnati on the money line at -132.
I like that. I don't know if I'm going to tail it just because it's a lot of juice to be playing on in week 1. That being said, Atlanta is kind of rebuilding. Their whole philosophy leading into last season was, hey, we're trying to build this really great team. We're trying to build something really great here. And they were terrible. They were trying to bring back old guys. They were trying to, they were kind of doing a let's get the band back together kind of deal. And it did not work. They were one of the biggest disappointments of the season. On paper, looked like a team that should be a contender and came nowhere close to it all year long. I don't think that they've really done a ton to where I want to be backing them, especially in this spot early. Mm-hmm. I want to embrace the unpredictability of it. But that being said, if I had to pick a side here, I'd be with you on Cincy.
You could go -1 on the agent handicap. I see a 3-1 game here on Cincinnati. Definitely an over 2.5. It's currently at -120. Again, don't want to do that much of the juice. Both teams to score, sure. But it's disturbing to see. Yeah, again, has the depth of Atlanta improved? Sure. But what are you going to get, especially this early in the season?
I agree with you. Like, again, their depth has improved, but who did they really bring in to be that kind of striker?
Correct.
If I'm going to go anywhere, I'm going to look at this game to the over because, quite frankly, you did not go broke betting Atlanta overs last season. They would score and they would give up a lot. But Superbook's got over 3 at plus 105. Yeah, you need 4 goals to win, but a 3-1 game does that. And also, if it finishes 2-1, you get your money back.
Yeah, you get your money back. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. If you want to go perfect score, my friend, I'll fire the first shot. 3-1, as I stated, Cincy plus 850.
Ooh,
might have to put a little pizza money on that one, my friend.
Nah, you just take some pizza money there. You can only be so wrong in 8-1. I like to say.
What's your second pick, my friend?
My second pick, I think that I'm going to another road team, but they ain't a dog. Philadelphia versus DC. Yes. Man, I bashed him constantly because DC is terrible every single season. You can find Philly at plus 120. They were a team I didn't believe in. I wasn't fading them. I didn't bet against them, but I wasn't betting on them at all last year. They cruised to the 1 seed. And the entire time, Tim and I would look at each other, we'd be like, do we believe in this Philly team? The bottom's got to fall out at some point, right? And it just never did. So we were like, okay, well, we didn't make money, but we didn't lose money because we weren't betting against them. We just weren't betting on them. But this year, I'm coming back on some Philly. They have consistently shown the pedigree. They have consistently shown the class and the ability to get this done. I'm getting a little bit of plus money on them here. It's not like it's a grueling road trip. They're playing a DC team that's still bad. Give me some plus 120 on Philly.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Don't bash my DC United, man. Aren't they second in the league all time with championships? Don't they have 4?
Yeah, but that's the same thing as like the NHL teams that are like, oh, we have to, or the Yankees who are like, we have so many rings. It's like, yeah, because you got them all before the draft. Like there were 4 teams in the league when these NHL teams were winning them. I mean, my running joke with Tim is every year he buys tickets to Miami versus DC, and every year Messi finds an excuse to not play.
Yeah. That's definitely the truth. No, I'm covering, as you know, my friend, I'm covering CONCACAF, the Champions Cup, and they just won. Philadelphia Union just won 5-0 over Defense Force. So, you know, I like that pick. I mean, obviously they're going to go away because they got to wait until the first leg is done to come back for the second leg in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. But let me throw this at you. If you like something, you know, you're like, hey, maybe a little, you know, like paying the juice. I respect that. I'm going to go to Sunday's game as my last one, my friend. Seattle Sounders, they host Colorado Rapids. Listen, the Sounders coming off a high-flying last season. You know, they lifted the League's Cup trophy where... Listen, the Rapids, I'm trying to be nice. The Rapids are entering a new era under their new head coach, Matt Wells. So, you know, it's just, you have to look at the firepower that Seattle has. Daniel Musovsky, you know, 16 goals last season. So again, and they've added a new face, a veteran in Dotson. And then another young Siberian talent in Pekovic, excuse me. And their you know, their home stadium of Lumen Field, it's kind of like a fortress. You know what I mean? It kind of reminds me of the Seahawks for this past NFL season. I mean, I'm not trying to compare here, but obviously 2 different sports.
But it's the same stadium.
Same stadium. I see maybe a 2-0 here. I wouldn't push anybody away from going win to nil, but I'm going to play it safe. Maybe Colorado scores. Might be another 3-1. If it's 2-1, you get your money back. I'm going to give the Seattle Sounders -1 on the agent handicap at -125. But you could, you know, if you want to, Shano, if you want to bet soccer, here's the deal. You could do this as a same game parlay. Both teams to score, yes, and Seattle to win. That is, I believe, at +115. That's something you could probably look at.
I think if you're going to bet that game, wait until tomorrow.
Yeah.
You mentioned the CONCACAF Champions Cup. They've got a road game down in Antigua to start off tomorrow night.
Right.
It's Antigua. They don't have to bring the A squad. Sure. They can say, we're going to leave the A squad at home. We're going to bring the B team. If they don't, I want as much Colorado 5-1 as I can get my hands on for the weekend. Because you got to watch out with these CONCACAF Champions Cup teams. And I know I just said that I'm taking Philly plus 120, but you got to watch out for them because they will sacrifice some of these early regular season games to say, okay, well, we want our squad fresh and healthy for playing these CONCACAF games here. And they've got enough, like, you're already squishing this game in between two midweek matchups for the home and away legs of the CONCACAF Cup. They might not play their stars on Sunday. Right. And if that's the case, and if especially if they play their stars in Antigua tomorrow night, 5-1 is simply not the right price against Colorado, because you enter a world of variables of, do they play everybody? How tired are people? Because that's a long trip to Antigua.
Yep.
Like, yes, you're not playing Saturday. You're getting the extra day of rest, but the Thursday to Sunday still isn't pretty. And I think at that point, like, you could realistically make Colorado a 3-1 dog instead of a 5-1.
I respect that.
I got a question for you. Is there an MLS team you've banned yourself from betting on because they simply defy all logic? Like this year, like in the NFL, I'll give you an example. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I bet on them 2 or 3 times. They bit me in the ass every single time. And I swore on our podcast, I said, I am not touching the Buccaneers for the rest of the season. I don't care how good the odds are. I'm not touching them. Any team like that for you?
Absolutely. Toronto. Every week they give you these juicy prices on Toronto and the futures market. Every year I burn money on a Toronto future. They always suck. And it's always a case of, oh man, but they have so much talent. Like the last several years, they have the Italians, they have Bernadeschi, they have all of these good players. They should make it come together, and they all hate each other. And it's a terrible team with zero chemistry, awful coaching. And each and every season, it's just like they should be so much better than they are, but I'm finally done betting on them.
Yeah. My friend, my last question. I know you're a busy man, so I'll leave you with this question. If you and I we love the game of soccer. Some people don't. I respect that. But if someone is looking to make that transition, or to that transition from betting the NFL, obviously it's just completed, or the NBA into soccer, what is the biggest mistake they usually make?
I mean, the number one novice mistake is not understanding the three-way betting. And you look at these big underdogs and go, oh, cool. And then you go, they tied. Why am I not getting my money back? But that's the very, very bare bones basic. Like that's not alpha. I would say the thing that most people get tripped up on is know the schedule. Know how the interspersed competitions are. Because especially if you're just looking at like the schedules on MLS.com or something like that, and you're someone who really doesn't know the sport, you see, okay, Seattle's got a game this week, Seattle's got a game next Sunday, blah, blah, blah. Right. And you don't see, oh, well, they got this midweek competition, or they're going to be rotating their squad here because they've got this competition and that's not showing up on the MLS schedule. I have to go here and look at it that way. That's something that I would definitely pay a ton of attention to. Just make sure that when you're betting these, you're getting the squad rotations right. You're getting a feel for who they like how a team likes to play their guys and how they like to keep guys fresh, because you can definitely get bitten, or you can be making the best of it on having just having your finger on the pulse of what team are they actually going to field this week.
Thank you very much, my friend. You can catch my friend Tom Viola. Check out his podcast. Please talk to Tom. Follow him on X at TV at Work. Tom, good to see you, my friend. We will catch up. We will be in Vegas later this summer, as we are going to be participating in the Circa Millions and Circuit Survivor. And remember, first round's on me, brother.
I can't wait, man. Thank you guys so much for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate it.
Welcome back to Just Win Bets, baby. Shayna, what an amazing interview with not only Lou, but also Tom Viola.
Yeah, both those guys, man, super knowledgeable about their sports that they bet on and they cover. I mean, super knowledgeable. It was great to talk with them. Lou knows it all about MMA, man. He's been there since the beginning from UFC pretty much, right? So he knows it all. And Tom Viola, man, he knows his soccer, doesn't he?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Him and we go way back, man. But I'm so excited, but he's picked a nice winner there, an underdog, Minnesota United at plus, close to plus 200. So 2-1 there. I think I got it in. I was a little late to the party. I got it at plus 185, but I mean, hey man, he knows his stuff, dude. Trust me. He's well trained in the Jedi arts when it comes to the MLS.
Oh yeah, he knows it all. I mean, he knows all that league inside and out. And it was great to talk to him.
Not only that, there, Shayna, what about your thoughts on Lou? You're talking like the exact. Let me try that again. What about your thoughts on Lou there, Shayna? The encyclopedia of knowledge there that he has. He even recommended a book.
Yeah, I ordered it. It's supposed to be coming in. I think tomorrow or Monday. So. Nice. I ordered it. I'm going to read up on that. I didn't even know that book existed. So, I mean, that's great. And he said that that's changed his mind on betting on UFC fights in particular. So, and brought up a lot of things that he didn't know about it. So I'm definitely going to read that book as soon as it gets here. I'll be reading that.
Look at you getting on Amazon Prime during the commercial and like, boom, boom, boom. Let me get that book. Comes in 24. You know what they need? I think they were beta testing it, the drone where they're just dropping. Yeah. They need to implement that.
Yeah, Amazon had it, and it said it'll be here by tomorrow. So I was like, all right, sweet.
There you go.
Hopefully it comes.
Before we go for the night, let's cover, of course, our bets. I have FC Cincinnati at minus 132. It's now down to minus 20, so there's a lot of money that's going there. Tom Viola, if you heard it earlier, he has Minnesota United at plus 200, and he's taking Philadelphia Union at plus 120. So a couple plus winners there. For me, I'm going with the Seattle Sounders -1 at minus 130 on that Sunday night in MLS. We do have, of course, our college basketball. We talked with the wise man early. We have our hot dog picks as well as our other picks. We went 5-1 the last 2 weeks. And you heard Lou's, of course, picks for UFC Fight Night for tomorrow. Shayna, we can't go out without hearing a couple of your picks for tomorrow's UFC Fight Night. Your thoughts?
So I got 2 picks for tomorrow for the UFC Fight Night. The Jeff Neal Uros Medic fight. Mm-hmm. Lou talked about this. Jeff Neal is he's coming off a loss to Carlos Prates, and then as he said, he's sober now, and he said he doesn't like to bet on fighters when they make that change for the first fight. And I kind of agree with him, and I think this is a kind of a bad matchup for him, for Medic. And Medic's a pretty big underdog right now. You can get a money line at plus 170. So I'm taking Medic plus 170. And then for the main event, you got Sean Strickland, his first fight in a year, facing Anthony Hernandez. He talked about that too, and he said that Sean Strickland is getting disrespected with this line. Anthony Hernandez is like minus 280, depending on the book that you're looking at. I think Strickland has a chance to win this. I think I'm going to play it safe here. I'm going to play it safe for this bet. And Strickland is very hard to finish. I know Anthony Hernandez likes to take people down to the ground and submit them and try and get, or a ground and pound. And that's how he wants to finish the fights. Strickland's hard to take down. He's hard to finish. I think the fight goes the distance. So I'm going to say the fight goes the distance. And that's my pick for that fight. I might sprinkle, after talking to Lou, I might sprinkle a little bit on Strickland there, because I think he's right. I think Strickland might be feeling disrespected here with that line.
I did. And as we were talking to him earlier there, Shano, it started to go down. I got it in at plus 230. So I just said, I'm going to throw some piece of money on that. And I like it. Let me get that Strickland Did you get the odds on going the distance or to fight to go the distance? Excuse me.
I had
Yes,
to go to
minus
distance.
minus
It was at
145.
minus like 130. Oh man, minus 145 now. That jumped a lot.
Yeah.
So minus 145. Yeah. What is let's look at it real quick. What's Sean Strickland to win by decision? Sean Strickland win by decision is plus 400. That might be worth a sprinkle there to me.
Ooh.
Anthony Hernandez is plus 125. So if you're on Anthony Hernandez, you can do that. But yeah, I think I'm with Lou there. I think Strickland's being a little disrespected here. Anthony Hernandez is a very good fighter, but so is Sean Strickland, man. He's usually on the main like pay-per-view cards, like main event guy like there. And it just he was suspended for 6 months for something he did outside of the UFC.
Sure.
And then so he hasn't fought in a long time. But as Lou said, he's constantly training. It's not like he's a guy that's like, just sitting back, relaxing for the whole time he was off. He's always training. He runs a gym, his own gym and stuff like that. So he's always fighting people. So I'm definitely going to sprinkle some money on Sean Strickland, but I think the safe bet is the fight goes a distance.
So that's going to end it for us here. But before we go, Shano, we want to, of course, talk about our next interview. He is from the PFL. Is that correct there, Shano?
Yeah. He used to fight in the UFC as well, but it's Kai Kamaka. He is known as the Fighting Hawaiian. Yes. He's fought a few UFC fights, but now he is currently in the PFL. So PFL is a professional fighters league. It used to be Bellator back in the day, and then they merged with somebody else, and then you know how it all goes. They change company names and stuff like that. But the PFL, I'm very excited to see him. He's a very entertaining fighter to watch as well. So I can't wait to talk to him.
A huge show for tonight. That's going to do it for us. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and subscribe to our newsletter that comes out every single day. It's sent straight into your inbox. Just go to justwinbetsbaby.com to subscribe for our free winning plays. Have a good night. We'll see you next time. Good luck to everyone, and we will see you next time. Take care.
See ya.